If you haven't seen the first WWE 13 Q&A with Corey and Aubrey, I'll put a link in the description to that, but if you don't fancy watching that full video, this video covers everything that was mentioned. So first up, Corey noted that although WWE 13 is focused on the Attitude Era, it still has what he called a full current roster, with the Attitude Era mode aimed towards bringing back fans that haven't played a wrestling game for the past few years. Speaking of the Attitude mode, he went on to talk about how it works in a PG environment, noting that they don't go crazy, but they do have a happy medium somewhere in between. One confirmation that came from this was that the blurring shown in the Stone Cold footage wasn't just for the video, it's actually in the game. The blurring of Austin's fingers comes as a surprise, especially considering that Corey went on to note blood is in the game again this year, so it's fine to cut someone open with a chair, but showing Austin's fingers is just too risky. As for the blood, it's still turned off by default, but you can switch it on in the options menu, and it plays a big part in the Attitude mode, with Corey stating you'll get a different experience if you have it on or off, with different scenes depending on your choice, which could be a subtle hint of the Brood's bloodbath, which I posted a WWE 12 video of earlier today. As for the blood during gameplay, it still covers the face and it drips off onto the mat as well as onto weapons and body parts. WCW is not a big feature in this year's game, even though the game does note the Monday Night Wars, but it's focused on the WWE side of things, so there won't be as many WCW arenas this year. But Corey did reveal that some of the parts will be in Create an Arena, so depending on what's customizable this year, we should be able to make our own versions of those past WCW arenas. The pin system minigame is the same as last year, but the target zone to kick out is now based on the previous move before the pin, so the target zone will be bigger and easier to kick out of if the last move was a regular move, but smaller and harder to kick out of if it was a finishing move. You can also trigger your resiliency on the meter to expand your target zone, with this year's title allowing you to trigger your resiliency while also filling up your meter, which wasn't available last year. As for the AI, they are now smarter in the sense that they attempt to go for pins after hitting their signature and finishing moves, as well as going for more smarter pins this year. As for how long someone stays down after a move, it depends on how much damage they've taken in regards to the limb targeting system's body colour, with superstars who are all red staying down a lot longer. Additionally, the likes of finishers and ladder moves will also cause someone to stay down longer. Speaking on Uncatchable Finishes, Corey confirmed that they can be performed from springboards or from the top rope, but not from running diving moves to the outside of the ring. As for the finishers themselves, they're not classed as OMG moments, so you won't see an OMG icon, they're simply classed as finishing moves. Additionally, Corey confirmed all of the spectacular moments will be available in online play, including the ring break. For the breaking of the barriers OMG moment, Corey confirmed that the match won't end when it is performed, and you'll be free to go on and break all 4 breakable sections around the ring. Also addressed was the question of adding more superstars on screen at once, with Corey saying that it's not possible on the current gen, but they will look at it again for the next generation of consoles, as to allow more superstars on screen they would need to use less detailed texture models or go down the route of adding 2 models for each superstar, one high res and one low res model, which would impact the size of the roster in the game due to the second models taking up additional space. In a rather poor choice of question, Corey was asked to talk about the option to set an amount of finishers at the beginning of a match, which is pretty self-explanatory, but Corey confirmed you can set the finishers to none, 1, 2, 3 or infinity. Hit detection has been improved this year, with springboards and diving attacks all being improved, as well as the addition of the contextual animations that I mentioned previously. An example was given for this in relation to trying to perform a clothesline when someone has the back to you, but with the animations now recognising this and instead attempting a dropkick. The last question addressed weight detection, with Corey confirming that unlike in WWE 12 when a small guy could do a lifting move, in WWE 13 the move will be swapped for a different move. The big news here was that instead of the move being swapped for a generic move, you can now choose which move replaces a move for all 16 different kinds of moves in Create a Moveset, which means that you won't have your moves always swapped for the same generic move. That's everything that was covered in this Q&A, so let me know what you think of these new details in the comments. Personally, I think the blurring of Stone Cold is a bit over the top, especially when there's blood in the game, but at least he doesn't look at his hands like he did last year in WWE 12.